The work that the ICMA is doing around the world is on full display in Ukraine, where ICMA officials are working tirelessly with Ukrainian municipalities to reintegrate veterans into their communities by using some successful strategies from right here in the United States. Colonel Retired Lance O'Brien is here in studio with us now to explain. Pleasure to have you today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Can you start off by just kind of setting the stage for us? What are things like in the Ukraine right now for these veterans?
They're in a full-fledged war. Their nation is mobilized to fight the aggressors in Russia. And truthfully, the only veterans that they have right now are those who've returned from the front, either through catastrophic injuries or there was a family issue that they had to return for. So they are planning right now for the return of the veterans. You know, large municipalities, tens of thousands are coming back, all the way down to smaller municipalities that may have 5 or 10. But it is a huge problem, and to say it's a challenge because of the invasion, you know, they're fighting a war at the same time. So it's to say it's challenging would be an understatement.
And you're talking about a large number of veterans.
Large number, like I said, we have some friends here from Lviv, and I think, and they said between 30 and 50,000 are forward right now. So just imagine that, you know, hopefully, you know, in the future hostilities will cease and those veterans can return. But that number of veterans coming back all at the same time, they had to be prepared for that.
So the initiative that the ICMA has taken part of, you guys have 3 specific priorities that you're tackling. Can you list those?
I can, and really it just came from my own experience, having been a garrison commander and dealing with veterans integration or transition assistance. And the number one thing that we saw as their first need is access to care, both physical and mental rehabilitation. But we also have to take a look at it. The veterans are different, and they're coming back to families, so they need to look at, you know, substance abuse issues. With substance abuse, you'll probably see an increase in domestic violence. So those are all things, and that access to care that those veterans will need immediately. The second one is providing safe space. So veterans together feel safe, just based on, you know, shared hardships and things like that. I can say from my own experience, you know, returning from deployments, you know, somebody would ask me, so what was it like over there? And it's just really hard to put that into words for people who haven't been in those types of situations. But around veterans, I'm comfortable. We don't have to talk about that. We all know what we've done. And then finally, probably the most important part is finding purpose. What is that thing that they want to do and wake up every day and be passionate about? Because finding purpose, we like to say, by a veteran finding purpose, you're going to have a thriving veteran. So that's what we're trying to get to, that thriving veteran.
And so you guys have already had a successful workshop.
Yes.
Can you tell me what that was about and why it was a success?
The people from the local municipalities from within Ukraine. We also had a representative of the Associated Amalgamated Territories was there as well. It was successful because they all deemed this as an issue that's going to be for them in the future, and they were able to come together, and whether they knew it or not, they already had the answers. They just had to talk with other municipalities within Ukraine, and they understood we've all kind of got the same issue. It'll be a little bit different and unique based on locations and what certain cities can provide or what they can't provide. They were able to talk about it and understand that at the local government level, they do have answers to some of these issues. They will need help, of course, from either the oblast or state, the region, and the national government, but they were energized. Okay. And they were taking it back to Ukraine, and they were working with their local municipalities, and those municipalities were staying in contact with one another. So, and I think the next chance to make it successful is to grow that workshop and include others so they can kind of understand those 3 principles. How are you receiving the veterans? How are you assimilating them? And then how are you further integrating them back into the community?
Well, thank you so much for all that you are doing to help those veterans, and thank you for your service, and thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I appreciate you.